Welcome to Straight TV. Folks, as you may know, the year is almost over. The holiday season is practically over. But what holidays usually do is that they show us the huge cracks we have in our relationships, the huge cracks we have in our marriage, the huge cracks that we have in our family. We go on all year without paying any attention to these cracks until the holidays. The holidays are the time that these cracks that we ignore all year are present. Are you just going to ignore them until next year? Are you going to ignore them until you experience them again next year? Because some people are capable of ignoring them. Some people are okay with ignoring these cracks all year or all their lives. But are you really ignoring them? Are we really ignoring the problems in our life? The answer is no. We don't really get away from these problems. We don't really avoid these problems. We simply choose to ignore them, but they are present in our lives every day. You show it. You show the cracks in your life, in your marriage, and the way you live on a daily basis. But you became already immune. You became already numb to it. But you show how unhappy you really are on a daily basis. You show that something is missing in our life. But we do it so much every day that we become accustomed to doing them. We've become accustomed to ignoring them. We've become accustomed to living with a thorn in our life. Yes, but subconsciously, we show them. Subconsciously, we show the unhappiness. But what do you mean? You may ask. What are you talking about? I don't get it. How do we show how unhappy we are in our lives on a daily basis? Well, when there are gifts, first of all, when there are gifts under our tree that exceed the amount of family members in our household, that is one sign that you are not fulfilled and happy. Why? Because you're hoping that these amount of gifts, these exuberant amount of gifts, will bring the happiness, will bring the joy, will bring the excitement as a family, as a group, as a unit, that one moment, that one day, that maybe having all these gifts under the tree for everybody will give me the happiness that I haven't had in so long. Because when you are really happy, maybe one or two gifts is enough per member. Yes, it's enough. The happiness is there. Everybody is fulfilled. Everybody appreciates. Everybody is grateful for one or two gifts. And let me tell you something. These exuberant amount of gifts don't just appear in Christmas. These exuberant amount of gifts appear all year long in birthdays and anniversaries and holidays. We are expecting to find that happiness all year through gifts because we don't have it on a daily basis. And that shows that we don't have it without the material stuff. If we need to have material stuff to share and interchange with somebody else in our family, then we are not happy. We are not happy. You are not fulfilled. You are not happy. You're content. That's the word that maybe you don't want to use in your life, but maybe you're content, but not happy. It's completely different. You're content on a daily basis. You're content with the gift that you get. You're content with the gift you give, but that's it. We are not happy. There are many ways people show that they are not happy in their life. It's not only by alcohol. Some people we understand that drown their unhappiness, drown their shame, their sadness through alcohol. But there's other ways people drown their unhappiness, drown their sadness. That is not just alcohol. Some people do it through shopping. Yes. Some people want to find that excitement, that happiness, that fulfillment through shopping. But like alcohol, like everything else that we're trying to look for an outlet for, we only get bursts of excitement here and there. Little bursts. That's it. Burst. Not completely happy. We're just burst, just content. Some people do it through shopping. Some people do it through partying a lot. Yeah, some people like to party, host, and party here, party over there, because they don't want to realize that when there is no partying, there is no music, and everything is quiet, they can hear their sadness in their home. They can see and feel and hear the silence in between their marriage. So hopefully by partying a lot, hopefully by not being home a lot, we drowned, we avoid realizing that I'm not happy, that I am not fulfilled. Also, the people who are the loudest are always the most insecure and unhappy. Yes. By being the loudest, they want the attention, they want the validation by people. They want to be validated because they are not validated themselves in their life. In their lives, they're so insecure. In their lives, they're unhappy. Some people, by partying, by being the loudest, by shopping, by gossiping, yes. Some people are so miserable and so unhappy that by gossiping of their neighbors, by gossiping of their family, by gossiping of co-workers, by gossiping of everybody who are also part of their religion, shows the unhappiness in their lives. Since they themselves are unhappy on a daily basis, that means that they want also everybody else to share that same unhappiness. They dread the fact that sometimes they're going to encounter people who are happy in their marriage. They hate it. So they fear gossip, causing discord in marriages, causing discord with other family members, causing discord at work, causing discord. Some people like to cause discord because they themselves are unhappy. They themselves feel. These are all symptoms of not being in a happy life, in a happy marriage. There is nothing more devastating than to be unhappy in a marriage. Yes, there is nothing more devastating. But wait a minute. When one is only happy in a marriage, it's not going to work. Both need to be happy. Both of you need to be happy. A happy and fulfilled marriage is composed of unselfish people. Yes, a fulfilled and happy marriage is composed of unselfish people. If one is selfish, it's not going to work out. If one is selfish, resentful, vengeful, and so forth, that marriage is not going to work out. And let me tell you something. Usually the one that is resentful, usually the one that is selfish, usually that is vengeful is the one that calls it quits on a marriage quickly when they realize that their spouse already catch on to their malicious ways. Not the other one. The one that has been taking in all the nonsense, the one that has been having patience towards the one that is selfish, is not the one divorcing. It's the one that is selfish. It's the one that is always vengeful, resentful, demanding, and needy. And those are the ones that call it quits because they like to be in those kinds of relationships. They want to find somebody else who will deal with their selfish ways, with their vengefulness, with their resentment, their gaslighting, their anything that makes them still be in that kind of power they like to be. When their spouse finally catches on that they are selfish, they are the ones that did. They are the ones that leave. They don't want to make it work. Next, who's next? Let me find somebody else. I am not happy anymore. I'm not satisfied anymore. Instead of making things work, instead of caring for the other one, instead of finding out what the other one needs, or instead of making your spouse happy, we are the ones that dip. We leave. We don't want to make it work. Next. And they jump from marriage to marriage, relationship to relationship. They keep going and find another one, because they are the problem and they don't want to change. But when you ask for something in return, that's when everything explodes. I'm out of here. I'm filing for divorce. I don't want to deal with this anymore. You don't want to deal with it anymore? Wow, that's crazy. Think about it. A happy and fulfilled marriage is composed of two unselfish people. Two, not one, two. We need to stop being selfish, but also we need to start being interested in our spouse. We need to start showing interest. It takes work, yes. It takes a lot of work because we are dealing with somebody else who has their different way of thinking. They grew up in a different mindset with different traditions, with different ways of doing things. We can see it sometimes in family gatherings. The holidays are one example. The way they grew up eating certain foods that we didn't. Therefore, we are making it work with our traditions. We are making it work with our culture. Sometimes they're culturally clashing. Yes. But you shouldn't get discouraged by that. The beauty of here is that both of you are trying to make it work. I cannot even imagine the huge cracks that we have in our marriages when the holidays approach. It starts by, I don't want to be with your family. I don't want them to come over. I don't want to host. I don't like your sister. I don't like your mom, and so forth, and vice versa. The way she's been, the way she's acted. I don't want to buy them gifts. They don't deserve anything. You are not going to go. If you go, I go. If you don't go, then I will not go. And those are the conversations that are happening in our marriage when the holidays are here. And let's not even add to the fuel to the fire. Sometimes it is even more devastating when there are other kids involved from other relationships. Or also when there are no longer together and the other parent is dropping off the kid for the holidays. And why is she here? I told you I don't want to see her. She shouldn't buy anything for my kids. I don't care if she's your ex-wife. Or I don't care if he's your ex-husband. You know how I feel about things. Wow, it's just incredible the amount of issues and problems we have on our marriages that we all year ignore, but they're present. Why did you buy this for her? I thought you guys were over, but she's the mother of my kids. I don't care. You shouldn't buy the kids. And oh, wow. See all the problems that we simply sometimes choose to ignore, but they're there. They are present. Sometimes we get into relationships knowing the person has kids with somebody else, knowing that that person has an ex-wife or an ex-husband. We get into and yet we get so offended and so angry when they are also involved for the holidays with our spouse. But we got ourselves into that. And then we make our spouse hold resentment towards us because we've been pulling them away from their original family, pulling them away from their kids or from another marriage. And then they hold it against us, and then devastating problems. But that all comes from being selfish, not really caring for the happiness of both of you. Listen, guys, we cannot overcome these issues by ourselves. We cannot overcome all these problems by ourselves. Guys, listen to me. We need help. And the only one that can help us, it's the Lord. The only one. I've found so much help under his guidance. Not by reading books, not by writing. No, by listening to his guidance, to his teachings. They've guided me to be patient, to be unselfish, to care for my spouse. And also she has found a way to care for me, to guide me, to be with me. We help each other. We consider each other. We take each other in consideration. If me and my wife wouldn't have the guidance of the Lord, we would have been already long gone, destroyed marriage, in shambles. But some people refuse also to listen to the Lord's advice because they grew up in a household where, in a sense, quote unquote, they were religious, but they didn't live a religious life. They just attended Sunday school, and they also just claimed to be the Lord's followers. But claiming or attending on Sunday school is not enough. It's the way you live. It's your life. The way you want to live. That's the way it should. And sometimes our kids see that. And they leave the household not wanting anything to do with church because they saw us as couples claiming we were religious, claiming we were Christian, claiming we were from a church, but we lived a horrible life, talking to each other horribly, disrespecting each other, not caring for each other, hiding stuff from each other, lying to each other. That's not the right way to live. And that marriage is not going to work out. And our kids are going to hate it. They're going to hate religion because of it. Sometimes we are the ones, well, not sometimes, most of the time, 99.99% of the time, our lives are what they are because of the decisions that we've taken upon ourselves. Because the way we live, because the way we talk, because of the way we want to live. 99.99% is not the Lord's fault. That 0.1% that I haven't added to it, it's because we haven't found the Lord. Yes. That 0.000111, it's that we haven't found him. That's why, because we're lost. Because we need to find him. We need to hear him. The other one is because we've done it to ourselves. Our self-harm. We've damaged our marriage. But it's not the Lord's fault. It's because either we haven't found him or we've self-induced our horrible marriage. We look for our problems ourselves. We are the ones to blame. We are the one. If our family turns out the way it is, it's my responsibility. I am the father. I am the parent. Also the wife, the mom. Both of you are not in sync. Both of you pull to one side and the other one pulls to the other side. That's the worst. That's the worst thing you can do to a family. Folks, the year's about to end. It's time we stop. Do not ignore the cracks in your marriage and your family. Let's find the beacon of light. Let's approach the beacon of light and ask for his enlightenment. And he will guide us. He will help us. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, guys.